which is what I know for a fact the government of Belize has always been trying to do, which I know for a fact that US Capital has always been willing to do, has always done. Only when we have done it, we were accused of, what's the word that they use? What's the word they use? Bullying the Maya people. It's beautiful.
Have there been any guidelines set by the court, any structure in terms of this mediation, this discussion?
No. Usually a mediator is appointed, and they would essentially go in a room, sit down and see how we can move forward. But the mediation comes with no ruling that anybody has to follow. It's just talk.
So at this point, how does this affect, or does it affect drilling or any activities by US Capital?
It affects nothing. It has never affected anything. From the first judgment said the forest permit and everything were good.
It has confirmed the government's position, the government's decision, which was that having extended the permit after full consultation with the Sunderwood people, the permit stands and there is not presently any challenge to the permit.
So, sir, could you tell us what's the next move then? Will US Capital just be able to just continue?
Oh yes, the US Capital has a permit and therefore it can act perfectly lawfully in accordance with this permit. That's the end of it.
However, the court has suggested that while the spirit of the order, the ruling has been complied with, the letter in the sense that these villages have not been talked to, that has not been complied with, and so you're being ordered to sit down and speak, the two of you.
Well, that is your interpretation of it, and that's an interesting one.
So what is the interpretation then?
The court has said that there is still a dispute as to who government should talk with, and that, as I understand it, is where the mediation comes in.
Will there be any structure to this mediation? Anything that kind of says you all need to sit down and talk, and at the end of a certain period of time, the court will look at what has been discussed? Anything like that?
Mediation, the process is compulsory. The outcome is not compulsory. So mediation is a way of allowing parties who have a dispute to settle the disputes themselves with the assistance of an independent, neutral third party. The court does not impose an outcome in terms of mediation. The court requires you to go through the process. It does not require that you must come to a particular result or to any result.
This court granted an order and said very clearly that you must consult with SATIIM and the 4 villages that I represent before issuing any new permit or extension. We applied for an injunction when we realized that the government was not going to comply with the order of the court. And we filed that 2 months and 2 days ago, and unfortunately we couldn't get a hearing until today. To my disappointment, but not shock, the government went ahead and issued a permit last week without consultation with my clients, and so came to court today to say to the court that it had no jurisdiction, firstly, and secondly, that the facts on the ground had changed and therefore the injunction should not be granted. Well, the court does have jurisdiction. She disagreed with Mr. Barrow and agreed with my submissions that the court has jurisdiction. And secondly, the court said that the letter of the court's order has not been complied with, and she ordered the parties to go to mediation. The purpose of that mediation is to get the government of Belize to comply with the order of this court. The order is clear, it is simple, and they should obey the law like everybody else.
Sir, both the attorney for US Capital and the attorney for government have differed significantly in their interpretation. For them, it is basically a victory.
I can understand why they would say that it is a victory. People have to say things hoping that people will be fooled. But they're not fool the talk, but they're not fool the listen. You all were in court, you heard what the judge said. The letter of my order has not been complied with, and she ordered the parties to go to mediation. If that's a victory for them, it's also a victory for us, because it means that they will have to come to the table with my clients.